Hi, today I'll be discussing some of the effects of peer pressure on the way that we perceive our own speech. One of the things when children are younger, I've seen in my classroom is that some of my children don't produce the right speech sounds. And one issue with this is their R's. Children will say things like wobot instead of robot, or Cinderella instead of Cinderella. One issue that I've seen is that parents will take this and they think it's cute, and so they will call Cinderella instead of Cinderella, and that puts that in their head. So they hear that as correct. So instead of knowing those errors, they think that they're saying that word correctly because that's been reinforced at home. Another issue is that when they are trying to improve those speech sounds, I see that they get frustrated because they can't hear the difference. So they are struggling to hear that difference. So by parents reinforcing that at home, they're allowing that child to perceive that as correct. So they don't hear that. And when they get to school, their peers who do not have those struggles, they don't have problems with the construction of their mouth, or how their mouth is shaped, or how they've been talked to at home. All of these things that could cause speech errors. Those children see that because we want to interact with our peers and we want to look at what is different between us. So they will call those errors out or those differences out in those children, and that can affect the child who's making those errors. That can affect their self-esteem, and that can stop them from participating in their classes. Also in my classroom, I've seen where a child doesn't want to work on their speech errors. They don't want to read words in my class until they see their peers doing that. They see their peers improving academically and improving their speech sounds and those sorts of things. Within my classroom, I'm not a speech pathologist, but I've seen those things. So seeing that in my classroom, that peer pressure actually motivates that child to work hard and to make those improvements, both academically and in their speech sounds. As that child gets older, those differences become bigger. So a kindergarten student who says wobot, many times those friends may laugh about it and then they move on. But a sixth grader saying wobot or Cinderella, that is seen as a big difference and can isolate that child. And with all of that, yes, it gives motivation, but it also can tear down a student and make them not want to try academically. But also, from a personal experience, I never had any speech errors, any big speech errors as I was coming through school. However, when I hit 9th grade, I got braces and had to have some dental surgery to correct some issues that I had inherited. With each of those surgeries and with each of those obstacles, I had to wear a retainer. So it changed the construction of my mouth that I had learned how to use to make those speech sounds. So I had to overcome that to speak clearly. One big motivation was that I didn't want to seem like I had regressed. So I worked really hard. I practiced. I made sure that those speech sounds were correct. I still have issues with that. So I make it a point to enunciate my words and work hard to correct those speech errors. So as I've gotten older, and with this issue, I've had to correct myself. So that's just a little bit. Thank you so much for listening.